Ladies and gentlemen, this story, I ended up coming across the story. I don't really remember how I came across it. I know that I did not see the story on my email. I was a little bit shocked because this story not only involves children, but just the gravity and the magnitude of this story about what allegedly happened to a child. I believe the child was 4 years old. Not only that, but also the person that was caught up in this story is actually a famous UFC fighter, Cain Velasquez, that you guys see here on my screen. But the reason he's involved in this story, I think, is probably going to blow you guys' socks off if you haven't already heard the story. But I'm going to have some opinions that I promise are not going to sit well with some people's sensibilities. So if you cannot handle that, I understand if you need to exit the video. But that is your disclaimer because my opinion might piss you off. Now, the former two-time UFC heavyweight champion, Cain Velasquez, on the right-hand side of the screen right there, was seen in court for the first time after he was charged with attempting to shoot a man who allegedly, and let me say allegedly because it still has to go through court. That's the thing I want y'all to remember. Allegedly molested a 4-year-old child relative of the star. Pretty serious and heavy stuff. Now, Cain Velasquez, who was 39 years old, appeared in handcuffs as he was formally arraigned in a California court on Wednesday with 10 counts of attempted murder and multiple gun assault charges. Now, just to let you guys know, I'm getting this article from Daily Mail, so thank you, Daily Mail, if you're out there listening. Nearly 100 supporters wearing t-shirts that read, "Free Cain," like the people are saying in the chat. Some people have already heard about this story. And if you believe that he should be freed, then they're going to type their opinions in the chat. But they came wearing t-shirts that said "Free Cain." And they showed up at the courthouse on Wednesday to show their support for the former fighter. Police said Velasquez fired a .40 caliber pistol at a pickup truck carrying 43-year-old Harry Eugene Guilarte. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not that great with pronunciation of names. See if I can get his face up here. That right there is Harry Eugene Guilarte, 43 years old, who was charged with molesting a child. And I want to repeat, charged, accused. They're going to present evidence. Okay? So we have to keep that in mind. Like a person is innocent until proven guilty in court. Okay? Now, police arrested Velasquez on Monday following an 11-mile high-speed chase in which Velasquez wounded Guilarte's stepfather, who was driving in his hand, prosecutors said. Damn, he was just busting at him. Now, his arraignment was postponed until Monday, and he's being held with no bail. No bail at Santa Clara County Main Jail. Court records and sources close to the case have described the chain of events that started last week after Velasquez's unarmed relative reported being molested by Guilarte at a home daycare in San Martin, 35 miles north of Velasquez's home, Salinas. The child's name and exact relationship to Velasquez remain confidential due to the child's status as a minor and as a sexual abuse victim. So we will respect that. Even if I knew it, there are certain details that I won't provide until it comes out in court. Okay? Now, Guilarte currently runs a daycare business with his mother while also living with her. At 43 years old? Living with his mama, but I guess we can skip that. Let's get past that. According to a criminal complaint that charged Guilarte with 1 felony count of lewd and I cannot pronounce this word. Hold on. See if I can get Google to pronounce it for me. Lascivious. Okay. 1 felony count of lewd and lascivious act with a child under the age of 14. Sorry, I couldn't pronounce it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all like I know all these damn words because I don't. All right. Now, On Friday, Vigilante was arraigned in front of a judge who granted him release. Let me say this again. They granted this man release under supervision over objections from the Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office. So the alleged child molester gets released from prison, from jail. Cain Velasquez, who was defending a child who was alleged to be molested, can't get out of jail, can't get a bail, can't get released. He's too dangerous because he tried to defend a child who was being taken advantage of by a caretaker. I know this story is really complicated, but tell me what do y'all think about that just on the surface, just on that alone. Because I know I have my personal opinion, but I'm going to talk about it in a speculative sense. Because we don't know what all happened yet. 3 days later, at about 3:15 p.m. Monday, the San Jose police announced the shooting near the intersection of Monterey Highway and Bailey Avenue before revealing Velasquez's arrest on Twitter. Because that's where it goes down. It goes down in the Twitter. Velasquez allegedly opened fire at a car carrying Vigilante, his stepfather, and at least one other person. Vigilante's stepfather was hit at least once before being rushed to a local hospital with a non-life-threatening injury. He got shot in the hand from what they said. He's expected to survive. The 39-year-old Velasquez is a two-time UFC heavyweight champion, so if you've ever watched his fights, you already know what's up. Having won the title in 2010 before losing it in 2011 and regaining it from 2012 to 2015. He retired in 2019 following a 26-second defeat to the current heavyweight champion, Francis Ngannou, on February 17th of 2019, which, like I said, really good fight. I saw that fight. Since then, he has wrestled in the WWE and Mexico, but is mostly focused on training other fighters at his longtime gym in San Jose. Born in Salinas, California, and raised in Yuma, Arizona, Velasquez was a star wrestler in high school and won a pair of state championships. He would later win a NJCAA national title, sorry, I can't pronounce that either, while wrestling at Iowa Central Community College. Ultimately, he transferred to Arizona State, where he compiled a record of 86-17 for the Sun Devils. That's really, really good. It was at ASU in Tempe, where he first worked with future UFC fighters such as Ryan Bader and C.B. Dalloway. From there, Velasquez began studying jiu-jitsu and later made his way over to the MMA in 2006. Here's what I want to bring up. He is a very accomplished fighter. He is a very capable fighter. I find it really, really conflicting in my heart to try to understand if you can go mano a mano, hand-on-hand combat with this individual who you will more than likely get an opportunity to confront at some point, I would think. I don't know. Maybe he didn't have time. Maybe he was about to get away. Maybe that's why they were driving away. I don't know. But I would think that if you were able to fight hand-on-hand combat, I don't understand why you would go grab a weapon, right? So Cain Velasquez is going to have to answer for that. He done already busted the shots. He didn't just present a gun. You actually shot somebody who didn't participate in the event, from what we understand. So the dude who molested the child, you shot his father. So you're going to have to answer for every round that left your weapon. So it sounds like if they're charging him with 10 counts, I'm assuming those 10 counts are probably from 10 rounds fired. I'm just assuming. I could be 100% wrong about that. Let me take it to the flip side. Again, this is an accusation, but let me say this. If they have enough evidence against this man, and maybe Cain already has the evidence that the police already have and they'll present in court, if he did what he is accused of doing, I got to tell y'all, if Cain would have been able to do what he was trying to do, would y'all feel bad for the man that he was trying to end his life? For that man. I'm just asking a question. I'm not saying what's right or wrong here. We're talking about pure emotions. You're talking about an innocent child. I believe the child was, what, 4 years old from what I understand? Four years old. And a relative. Let me tell you, in this environment that we live in, I'm thankful for people who protect children at all cost. I'm thankful that people are willing to dedicate their lives, their energy, and dedicate their money and time to the children. Because if this man, Cain Velasquez, is convicted, I can guarantee y'all he is not going to see the light no time soon. I'm pretty sure that he was willing to dedicate his life to that kid to say, hey, what you did was wrong to this kid, and you're going to pay for it, and I'm going to be the Grim Reaper. It is an understandable sacrifice, especially for me as a father, and if you guys are parents, that I'm sure you guys can understand. And I always tell my daughter, if something happens to you, I need to know about it, and I need you to make sure and tell me what's going on. I'm not going to say what I would do, but I'm just saying that daddy is here to defend his child. That is our job as parents. I would hope that nobody ever disrespects or takes advantage of my daughter, because that'll be a sad day on planet Earth. I'll tell you that right now. Okay? So on the surface, I can totally understand what was going through Cain's mind, and you also have to remember that he's a fighter, and you also have to remember that there's a small child involved that could not speak for themselves, nor could they defend themselves. And here's another thing that I'm wondering. If this child was in daycare, how does this man, let me see if I can get his face back up on the screen here for you again. How does this man have this much access to a child by himself if he's at a daycare? Like, no children should be left unattended. Like, matter of fact, I'm sorry, but if you just look at him on the surface, he don't look like he needs to be in a daycare at all. Like, he look like he need to be digging up some sewer lines or something like that. I don't know. Like, that man look like he need to be working in a coal mine or something, but not working around kids, not at a daycare. Like, I'm sorry, there are just some people who have molester faces, and this guy is one of them. He just has a molester looking face, right? If my daughter goes to the bathroom the same time that he's headed to the bathroom, guess what? We're just not going to go to the damn bathroom. I'm going to find a different area to take my daughter to the bathroom. No thanks. Right? But again, right is right and wrong is wrong. In the eyes of the law, you cannot take vigilating justice. You can't take the law into your own hands and go out and go exact revenge. But what I will say, and if this all goes through the way that we believe, if this man is guilty, I'm sure he's going to face a whole lot in prison. What do they do to Chesters in prison? They don't take too kindly to stuff like that. So I understand where Cain is coming from, but at the end of the day, I'm not so sure that it's a good thing for either one of them to be out of prison. Throw that out there. He definitely shouldn't have been let out, but again, they're talking about free Cain, but you know what Cain would do if he was out of prison. I'm just saying. Let me give you guys the fair usage. Let's take a look at the news videos. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And if you guys are watching this video, do me a favor and click that thumbs up. It'll help share this video. We want to have at least one thumb up for everybody who's watching, so I thank you guys for sharing that. I read something in the chat. Somebody posted something, and you guys can post what you think, or if you know some stuff, then feel free. But somebody in the chat said he lived in the house but was not working at the daycare, but somehow ended up in the bathroom with Cain's son over 100 times. Where are you getting that information from? Is that what happened? I haven't gotten that far into the details, but again, like I say, I'll take that with a grain of salt. I don't know that to be a fact or not. That's speculation because we weren't there. We don't know. All right. But nonetheless, post your guys' thoughts in the chat. Here we go.
A case of vigilante justice or a premeditated crime. A former UFC champion was arraigned today on attempted murder charges in San Jose. But supporters say he was forced to take the law into his own hands. KPIX5's Marisa Medina asked a legal expert to weigh in on calls for the suspect's release.
Investigators say Cain Velasquez's last fight was on the streets of Santa Clara County, trying to shoot the man accused of molesting Velasquez's close family member who were choosing not to identify. It's a fight one criminal defense attorney believes Velasquez will likely lose in court.
I don't blame him. I 100% don't blame him.
Today, dozens of supporters filed into the Santa Clara County Hall of Justice for former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez's first court appearance.
The community is behind him on what happened.
The show of solidarity behind the 39-year-old is growing, with the hashtag #FreeCain also beginning to trend on social media.
What Cain did, he had to take matters in his own hands.
Investigators say on Monday, Velasquez went to the home of this man, Harry Galarte, who is on house arrest after being charged with allegedly molesting Velasquez's relative. Velasquez allegedly followed Galarte through Morgan Hill and into San Jose during rush hour traffic, firing at least 7 rounds at Galarte's vehicle and ramming the car. Galarte's mother, who was in the back seat, was not hurt. His stepfather, who was driving, was struck in the arm.
What he did was put the public at danger.
Here's a copy of the complaint. I mean, he's charged with 10 crimes.
Paula Canny, a criminal defense attorney and former deputy district attorney, agrees with the prosecutor.
I don't want even mixed martial arts fighters who are champions to get to go around and fire guns in public places and take the law into his own hands. It's horrifying. It's frightening. There is no defense of vigilante justice. And that's probably a really good thing. Otherwise, the whole system would devolve into vigilantism. It's horrifying. It's frightening. There is no defense of vigilante justice. And that's probably a really good thing. Otherwise, the whole system would devolve into vigilantism.
Here's the thing. I think there needs to be a distinction made. So let me clarify big time. I hear what she's saying, and she's speaking from a common sense standpoint. But what you're talking about is children being abused, molested, taken advantage of, those who can't speak for themselves nor defend themselves and are too small to do anything about it. I'm sorry, but there has to be some exceptions. There should always be an exception to the rule. Does everybody understand where I'm coming from? There should always be an exception to the rule depending on the circumstances and situation. I think people should absolutely have this what do you call it? This internal fear of messing with our kids. They should be fearful for their life for even thinking about messing with our kids. Can I get some people to tell me what y'all think about that? Can I get some of y'all to tell me what y'all think about that? That's just my opinion. Again, we're talking about opinions. I get what she's saying, but I honestly believe there should be some exceptions. And I'm thinking about our children, and I'm thinking like, I mean, if you were ever going to take any vigilante justice, it seems like you should do it for the kids. Give an example. If you see a kid getting kidnapped, should you not be able to go kick that person's ass for trying to steal somebody's kid, snatching somebody's baby out the basket while you're in the grocery store or something? Right? We got kids turning up missing, getting snatched up from parks and schools. I'm not trying to encourage people to break the law. Please understand. I'm not advocating for anybody to break the law. I'm actually advocating for people to follow the law. We're just saying that I would understand if people were to take vigilante justice in order to defend children. But please understand that when you do that, there is consequences to those actions. Just like Cain is about to find out. That's all I want to throw out there. Let's keep going.
Former UFC champion Cain Velasquez made his first court appearance today in San Jose. These photos captured the moments Velasquez stood before the judge, accused of attempted murder in a car chase and shooting Monday afternoon in South San Jose and Morgan Hill.
Free Cain.
A large crowd of supporters wearing Free Cain shirts filled the courtroom. Many of them Velasquez's teammates and training partners at AKA in San Jose.
He's a good person, and everybody knows it, especially the guys who are close to him, somehow related to him. We just know that he would never done such thing if the person didn't really cross the line, really cross the line.
Arraignment was postponed until next Monday at the request of Velasquez's legal team. Velasquez will continue to be held without bail due to the severity of the charges. The judge approved 3 restraining orders for the people in the car Velasquez is accused of following.
His actions on February 28th were very reckless.
Prosecutors say Velasquez shot into a truck in which 40-year-old Harry Galarte Jr. was riding with his mother and stepfather Friday afternoon during an 11-mile high-speed chase from Galarte's home in San Martin. Galarte is accused of molesting Velasquez's 4-year-old relative. He was charged and released last week and was on his way to get an ankle monitor at the time of the shooting.
Our office requested that defendant in that case be detained as well because we believe that he was also a risk to public safety.
He was charged and released last week and was on his way to get an ankle monitor at the time of the shooting.
Our office requested that defendant in that case be detained as well because we believe that he was also a risk to public safety. And the court disagreed with us and agreed that he could be released without bail.
The gunfire Monday night hit Galarte's stepfather, who was driving and is not a suspect in the molestation case. Galarte's mother operates a home daycare center Velasquez has been a client of for 2 years. Sky 7 got video of the home, which has a large play structure and a baseball diamond in the backyard. The daycare center is currently not operating.
It's unfortunate.
That is a huge daycare. Or a huge house/daycare. They got do y'all see how big that is? Let me go back. Look at that. Whoa. Boy, somebody is making bank. That is not a normal house.
Client of for 2 years. Sky 7 got video of the home, which has a large play structure and a baseball.
It has a baseball diamond. I'm just saying, damn. Wow. Got his own baseball field. Sheesh.
Diamond in the backyard. The daycare center is currently not operating.
It's unfortunate that he took the case into his own hands rather than waiting on the criminal justice system.
Velasquez was arrested Monday along Monterey Road in San Jose without resistance and booked into Santa Clara County Jail. The semi-automatic handgun used in the shooting was legally permitted by Velasquez. The charges against him include attempted murder, shooting at an occupied vehicle, and assault with a firearm. In San Jose, Dustin Dorsey, ABC 7 News.
hearing. Well, the judge said no. Cain Velasquez, the former UFC champion, will stay in jail while he awaits his trial. Today, the judge refused to allow him to post bail. And for the first time, we heard from his big-name attorney. Velasquez is accused of chasing after and firing into a truck carrying a man accused of molesting a young family member. NBC Bay Area's Damian Trujillo Jones is live from the Santa Clara County Jail with the latest on this case. Damian.
Yeah, well, Cain Velasquez will remain in protective custody here at the main jail, at least until his next court appearance in April. And today, his attorney, Mark Garagos, went after the criminal justice system. Cain Velasquez was back in court this morning, shackled, listening to Judge Shalina Brown deny bail, saying she believes he is a danger to the public and to the Goulart family of San Martin.
I think the judge made her comments very clear that Mr. Velasquez's conduct in this case endangered a great number of people, and he poses a serious risk of danger to the public and to the specific victim in this case.
Velasquez is charged with premeditated attempted murder for allegedly shooting at this man from his car, 43-year-old Harry Goulart of San Martin.
Man, if they get him for premeditated, boy, he is going to be screwed on that charge. Golly.
Goulart is charged with molesting Velasquez's close family member at the San Martin Daycare Center. But at this time, Goulart is out on his own recognizance, meaning no bail. And
now, that's what I don't understand. Like, how did they let him out on an OR, on recognizance? Like, you are accused, you are charged with molesting a child. No bail at all. If they failed anywhere in this case, maybe they didn't fail letting Cain out, but they damn sure failed at the person who's accused of molesting a child. No bail. How does that even make any sense? Can y'all let me know that y'all heard me? No bail for child molesters. How? Not a single dollar. You're going to give them an OR bond. Isn't that something? You can give OR bonds for a lot of things. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of things you can't even get an OR bond for. Hell, if you went and robbed a grocery store, or if you went and robbed a what do they call that? Like a where you buy clothes? If you robbed a store for some clothes, you might not be able to get an OR bond. But you can molest and rape kids and get no bond? Don't have to pay no bond at all. That I don't understand.
that angers dozens of people who showed up to support Velasquez in court.
If they need to be mad about anything, they need to be mad about the fact that the alleged child molester, let me say that, the alleged child molester did not have to pay any bail.
It was also topic number one for Velasquez's lawyer, Mark Garagos.
Father was not consulted when they released the perpetrator back into the public with $0 bail, yet they're holding Cain on no bail. This is why people are disgusted, and rightfully so, with the criminal justice system.
The DA says the judge released Goulart over prosecutors' objections. This is exclusive video showing part of that car chase between Velasquez and the Goulart family. During the chase, Goulart's stepfather was struck and injured by gunfire. Police say Velasquez was armed with a .40 caliber handgun, and court records show police seized at least one other gun from Velasquez's home on Monday, along with ammunition. Today, his attorney was defiant.
We plan on vindicating Cain. We plan on getting Cain back with his family. That's all I've got to say today.
I'm told that the judge can revisit this bail situation at future court dates, but for now, for the next month or so, Cain Velasquez will remain here at the main jail.
So, do y'all think that Cain Velasquez should get a bail? The former UFC champion, should he get a bail? I think, yes, you should give him a bail. Now, granted, I think that you would definitely have to monitor the dude because he's probably going to be hella unstable. I think he definitely presents a risk to the public and other people, for sure. But I do think he deserves a bail, though. We get people that commit murder that get $1 million, $2 million bails all the time. Why would that not be any different in this case? And nobody died. Right? On the other end, the man who was accused of molesting a child was not required to pay a bail. He got an OR, own recognizance. There's no way he should have been let out on OR.
In protective custody. We're live outside the main jail in San Jose. I'm Damian Trujillo.
There are new details emerging about former UFC champion who's been charged with attempted murder and more. Cain Velasquez appearing in court, now being held without bail.
And we're learning more about who he was potentially targeting in a shooting Monday and why. Reporter Amanda Del Castillo explains why prosecutors feel he took the law into his own hands.
Former UFC champion Cain Velasquez in court Wednesday, formally charged with attempted premeditated murder and multiple gun assault charges. The Santa Clara County DA's office says Velasquez fired at least 7 rounds, shooting into a truck. And
I do got to call this out, and I got to say thank you to our chat, our live chat, the people who are in the chat who are listening right now. Somebody called it out in the chat. And she said, look at all the people from my stories that get bail. Just go on my channel and Google search some of these names of the people who are involved in these stories who actually commit these atrocities to children. And look at how many of them, I would say 80 to 90% of them, if I had to take a guess, get a bail. And a lot of them have been convicted, not even accused. A lot of them, those stories have already gone through the court system, have been convicted of doing horrible things to children, and they got a bail. This was done, in my opinion, Cain was not in his right mind, and it was done with the intentions of trying to defend a child. Yes, I believe he deserves a bail.
Injuring one person. This happened Monday afternoon during what is being described as an 11-mile high-speed chase by Velasquez in South San Jose and Morgan Hill.
There may be some people that really understand the motivations of the defendant in this case. His actions on February 28th were very reckless.
That so-called motivation, Harry Galarte Jr., a passenger inside the truck Velasquez was said to be targeting. Galarte was not injured in the shooting, but prosecutors have accused him of molesting Velasquez's 4-year-old relative at a family daycare center in San Martin. Galarte didn't work at the daycare, but lived inside the home.
After deputies interviewed the 4-year-old child and other parties involved at this daycare, they later determined that a sexual assault occurred.
Galarte was charged and released last week, and according to the DA's office, was on his way to get an ankle monitor at the time of the shooting. Sky 7 was over the home daycare center, which Galarte's mother operates. I checked with the state's Department of Social Services and found the center's last inspection was as recent as January 11th. According to the facility evaluation report, a supervisor noted, licensee states that adults over the age of 18 residing in the home are herself, her spouse, and her son, Harry Galarte. All adults residing in the home have criminal background check clearance, signed criminal record statements, and TB test. The sheriff's office says Galarte's mother voluntarily shut down the daycare for the ongoing investigation.
As of right now, we have about 20 plus juvenile children that come and go throughout this daycare.
Coinciding with the day of the shooting, the state served Galarte with this immediate exclusion order, demanding he be removed from the home and have no contact with clients of any child care facility. For Velasquez, a show of support at the county courthouse Wednesday. The DA's office saying it's unfortunate he took the case into his own hands rather than waiting on the criminal justice system.
It's our belief that based off of what we know, the allegations in the report, there was no legitimate claim of self-defense under the law.
In San Jose,
bail has been denied for UFC champion Cain Velasquez following an attempted murder arrest last week. Velasquez is accused of shooting at a man suspected of molesting one of his relatives. ABC 7 News reporter Dustin Dorsey spoke with a legal analyst about the case.
The free Cain shirts were back as UFC star Cain Velasquez learned he will remain in jail for the time being. A judge denied bail, saying that there is clear and convincing evidence that Velasquez remains a threat to public safety. Velasquez was arrested last week for attempting to shoot and kill Harry Galarte Jr., a man arrested and then released without bail after being suspected of molesting Velasquez's 4-year-old relative at a daycare center.
If you believe what the DA says the motivation is there anybody out there who would say to a father that this is not what you should do?
Prosecutor Aaron French read a letter to the court today, written by Galarte's mother, that said Velasquez being out on bail would put them at risk. Celebrity lawyer Mark Garrigo said there is no...
I think it would put that one man at risk, not the whole family. Thought I'd throw that out there. Let's clarify. That would not put the family at risk. That would put that one man at risk.
No threat of Velasquez running or, quote, finishing the job if a substantial bail was approved. He presented the judge with 37 letters of support for the UFC star, including some written by prominent sports figures like UFC President Dana White and UFC World Champion Khabib Nurmagomedov, who trains with Velasquez at AKA in San Jose. Garrigos fought to get Velasquez back home with his 2 children, but bail was denied.
They released the perpetrator back into the public with $0 bail, yet they're holding Cain on no bail.
Let me let y'all hear that again. That's the part that I wanted to stress.
Public with $0 bail, released the perpetrator back into the public with $0 bail, released the perpetrator back into the public with $0 bail, yet they're holding Cain on no bail. This is why people are disgusted, and rightfully so, with the criminal justice system.
Let's stop it right there. I think what he said was perfect, and that's poignant. That's what's wrong. Because I think at the end of the day, they're more concerned about these 2 male individuals and that confrontation and what happened with that, and a person being shot and injured. That's a very, very serious thing. I definitely don't want to lessen that. But it seems that the child, which should have been at the forefront of this, should have been put out there as the most important thing in this case, and I don't feel like that's what happened. What do y'all think? The child was not put at the utmost importance. They're saying that we need to protect the mom. We need to protect the man that's accused of molesting the child. We need to protect the father who was shot in the hand for driving the vehicle. We need to protect all 3 of them. And then we'll eventually talk about the child. How many of y'all got that feeling from this story? Because that's what I got. To sit there and say, we're not going to even bother giving him a bail. We'll just say, go pick up your ankle monitor and you're good. Show up to court. Like what you're accused of doing to the kid. Yeah, that's despicable, but we'll give you an ankle monitor. I don't like that. Why should he be out of prison at all? So if you believe that this man doesn't have the capacity to not try to murder somebody again with a gun, then what makes you believe that a child molester who's already messed up in the head, alleged, would not go out and go rape other kids, ankle monitor or not? Is an ankle monitor going to stop him from molesting other kids? I 100% agree, even though it's Cain's lawyer, but I still think that the case he's presenting is way stronger to point out the fact that this system is broken. This system is broken. There is no justice for our kids. There's never going to be enough justice for our kids. And this is a situation that can be fixed. It's early enough that this can be fixed. And you could change and say, you know what, we're going to reject that OR and you need to come in and come pay a bond. Why won't you charge him a bond? Probably because his punk ass, bitch ass, don't have enough money. He living at home with his mama at 43 years old. That's your mom's daycare, your mom's house, not yours. What do you do for a living? Let's see. Molesting kids? That's what you do for a living. Like, he just has the face of an unproductive citizen of the United States of America, if I have ever seen one. Let me go back to this picture. Yes, I'm going to be a little bit of a butthole. Excuse my language. But if you look at this dude's face, what would y'all think he does for a living? If you ask me, I would say yes, that's probably what he do. Messing with your kids. He passed the background check. Well, if you don't ever say nothing that's happened, if you don't ever hold anybody accountable, if nobody sees something and says something, then yes, you're going to pass a background check. That doesn't mean a damn thing. I'm sure that his mama probably know that this fool has some issues. But I know that some people that would defend their children no matter right or wrong. And I think that's the dumbest thing that you could possibly do. It's the most irresponsible thing you could do as a parent. And then if you look at this situation, the fact that you got a 43-year-old son who's damn near old enough to be a grandfather at this point, living at your house? What do you do for a living? You do nothing. You suck, dude. He absolutely should have got a bail, a bond, a $2 million bond out here messing with kids. That's what he's been charged with. Definitely should have got a bond. In my opinion, for Cain Velasquez, y'all know if he gets a bond, he's got enough money to get out. I'm not too sure that he wouldn't turn around and go find that dude and try to finish him off. And to be honest, I wouldn't be mad based on what we believe. But I do believe that as a citizen of the United States of America, under our justice system, he should get a bond. He should be granted a bond, be able to get up his money, and to be able to get out of prison or jail, whatever you want to call it. But nonetheless, we'll follow up with this story. I am definitely interested to see what's going to happen in court, and maybe they can fix at least the bail situation. And we'll do probably another update on this story here sometime soon. But let me know what you guys' thoughts are. That's just my personal opinion. A lot of this is speculation until we find out what really happened, and hopefully it'll present some facts in court. I'm DJ Just J with the AFC, where we advocate for children first. Put the children first. It does not seem like the courts put the child first in this case. The child was put to the back burner for grown adults. We got to stop doing that for real.